It's a game Slayer here. Today we are going to react to Wansse Entertainment again because I love Wansse's entertainment, but I always watch his videos too. But you know, I'm a little different right now because you see my ears. You see my ears. I have no. You don't see no white around. You don't see no white around me, my neck anymore because my mic just broke again. Because there's a lot of pairs I have, but don't have any headphones. So we're gonna do it with my microphone. It's always out when I'm talking. But it's December, so I want to start I want to start this horror story anime one because it's December. So the first one we're gonna react to is True Santa Claus Horror Story. I think it's like Santa is gonna kill someone in this horror story or just scare him. Let's watch it though. Santa Claus.
My name is Amelie. I live in California, and this happened when I was 13 years old, last Christmas. My family decided to celebrate Christmas at my Aunt Jennifer's house, and as always, my cousins would come. I'm the oldest cousin, which means I must take responsibility all the time.
Oh, wow.
But I'm fine with it. I love all of them. My grandfather always dresses up as Santa Claus for Christmas and hands out all of the gifts.
Wow.
This Christmas was no different. My grandfather pulled the old card of going to the post office to pick up something he ordered. Instead, he snuck through the back door and quickly changed into the Santa costume. I was just playing with my cousins when everyone heard a loud knock on the door. Ho, ho, ho! Are there any nice children? A deep voice asked. And so my cousins, in excitement, opened the door to see no other than Santa Claus. But the beard my grandfather used to wear felt very...
Well, because I don't know who's beeping out my door. Okay, it's just no one, just some random people.
Very real when I hugged him. His costume also felt very dirty. Not like the soft and gentle costume that my grandfather used to wear each Christmas. And so it was time for Santa to leave the house after he had handed out all of the gifts. We all said our goodbyes, and he left shortly after. We waited a few minutes, but Grandpa wasn't coming back from the closet upstairs. My other Aunt Helena became curious and decided to sneak upstairs and check on him. And so she opened the closet doors to find my grandfather lying dead on the floor with the Santa costume on. We took him to the hospital, and apparently he had died from an unsurvivable heart attack. But there was another thing. When they examined him, they found out that he had died around 8:34. But Santa came at 9:25. Then who was our Santa? Who did me and my family welcome into our house? And most importantly, that still haunts me until this day, how did he know my family's names?
Yeah, really. How does he know their names? Creepy though. But creepy as it used to be. As you know, creepy as it used to be. And it's still not letting me go back, which I know. Yeah, how does he know their names like in 1 second? That's crazy. So I'm gonna look for my other videos. So we're gonna watch his latest video is The Creepy Man Under the Streetlight. The Creepy Man in the Streetlight drawer? Okay. Let's look through that. Maybe pause because I think it's gonna be a advert. Yeah. Let's read.
So I'm not exactly sure where to post this, but I feel like this might be the best spot for it. I recently moved out to an apartment building all the way up to the top floor. My balcony is at the back of the building, and the view is mostly trees, but there's some houses and a street directly behind the apartment building, so I can see that too. And I hope that makes sense. I usually sit out on my balcony at night, getting high and listening to music. At night, the view is just darkness aside from the house porch lights, and the road lit up by a streetlight. Most of the road view is covered by trees, but I can see a good amount of it.
Yeah.
There's also no light for my balcony, so at night I just sit in the dark, aside from the light coming from my phone. So anyway, I was sitting there at around 10 p.m. or so, like I usually do, and I noticed movement from the road. When I looked down, I saw someone running down the road, like really fast. From my distance, it looked like this person was running faster than any human should. I was just watching when this person just stopped under a street lamp. Under the light, I could tell this person was a man. I also realized this person was now looking up at me. I got nervous, but I didn't move because I thought I could just be overthinking and maybe this guy wasn't actually looking directly at me.
Oh, he is.
How could he? My phone wasn't on, so I was pretty much sitting in complete darkness. Could he really see me from all the way down there?
Yeah, he can see you.
I just kept sitting there, hoping the guy would leave, but then I saw him waving at me.
What?
Now I knew he was looking at me.
I knew.
I was too uncomfortable to do anything. I couldn't even go back inside.
Wow.
I just sat there, getting increasingly nervous. My thoughts started running wild.
Wow, you locked
I thought
up.
this guy might find my apartment and try to break in.
That's true.
I also thought that they would somehow just sprint forward and climb up the building to get to me or something.
He climbed it.
As I kept staring at this guy waving
what
at
he's
me,
gonna do
a sudden
next.
feeling of dread came over me. That was when I started grabbing my things to go back inside. But then I saw that he stopped waving. He reached both of his arms out to the side and started swaying his body side to side, bending his knees as he moved and wiggling his arms around like a weird dance move. At this point, I was incredibly unsettled. I just wanted to go back inside, but I was also slightly intrigued in a way, and I guess I wanted to see what he might do next.
Why?
Soon, the feelings of dread and unease took over and continued closing up all of my
Yeah,
stuff
just do that.
inside. There was a window in the room next to the balcony where you could see down to the same area, so I peeked outside trying to stay hidden behind the wall. I saw this guy still moving around, side to side, but he soon stopped, and I saw him just start booking it down the road again. I made sure my front door was locked, and I went back to my room, locking the bedroom door as well.
Yeah.
The bedroom window looks out to the same direction, so I made sure that the guy was gone and closed my curtains.
Yeah, close it.
I didn't really sleep that night. I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that I had.
Oh,
This happened a couple of nights ago, and I haven't seen this guy since then.
Okay.
I've still been sitting out in the balcony, but I've been getting really paranoid when I'm out there at night, so I don't stay out for as long as I did. I don't really know what to make of this whole thing. I don't know who that guy was, or maybe what he was. I get really uncomfortable and paranoid when I think about that night. Like I'm back in that moment, feeling those exact feelings again. Also, since then, I get occasional waves of dread. Like at times throughout the day, I get the feeling that I'm being watched. I hope this feeling goes away soon, and I'm really hoping I don't see that guy ever again.
Oh. Damn. Gee, he's not trying to... That's why he's following her, because there's no way he's following her each time, because when every person follows you, they try to like come after you or something like that. That's where I'm really guessing to it now, because there's no way he can do that to you for years. So the next video we're going to watch is True Home Invader Horror Story Anime. It's like a true horror anime. Let's watch it.
Made the simple
Yeah,
way.
everybody. Yeah, it's going to be Skidz.
With real lemon juice, 75%.
Home Invader.
My name is Jack,
Yeah.
and right now I'm 26 years old.
This is all.
This happened when I was 15.
Oh, okay.
My mom was out of town at the time, and my dad had let me and a couple of friends to come over and watch the World Cup start in 2010.
Not bad.
It had been a while since we watched football at all,
Oh,
so we were all very excited.
wow.
We got some pizza and some snacks, and started to watch.
Very.
Around halftime, we heard some scratching at the window. We all shook it off as the wind, since we lived in a gated community,
That
and it
is.
was a very safe neighborhood.
Nah, I know.
After the game, we started to watch a movie, and that was when things started to get out of control. We heard the sound again, only this time it was louder. My friend, let's call her Maya, got a bit freaked out and grabbed a baseball bat. My other friends, let's call them James, Alan, and Steve, thought she was losing it, but at that point I was getting a bit suspicious too. So I turned on the security cameras on a smaller TV. Everything seemed okay, until we heard the noise again. We looked at the camera, but nothing was there. So we called my dad, and he looked out the window. There was nothing there, so he said to calm down and watch the movie peacefully. We forgot about it for a while, until about 40 minutes later, when we went upstairs to grab more snacks. Our house was pretty big, and I felt the need to check every room, but I convinced myself that it was okay. We went downstairs again to resume the movie, and I decided to look at the security camera, and I nearly screamed. There was a man in a tattered LA Dodgers shirt and sweatpants, standing with a butcher knife in his hand at the living room window. He had a deranged look on his face, and his long, dirty, matted black hair made the situation even scarier. I motioned to my friends, and James almost screamed, but covered his mouth to prevent that. And before we could do anything, he went to the door and pounded on it, and said in a deep voice, "Open up, open up." Maya and I both grabbed our baseball bats again, but we were both shaking like crazy. I was pissed off and scared. We all slowly went upstairs to check to see if the doors were all locked. Who the hell was this guy, and what the hell did he want? My dad at that point had heard the noise and had to come down from upstairs, and he took one look at the guy and nearly fainted. He yelled at him to leave, or he will call the cops. I had never seen my dad so angry. James, who was the youngest, was reasonably terrified, so he was hiding behind the couch. And Alan was just pale and frozen, while Steve had his fist clenched and had a deathly scared look on his face. The guy had the creepiest grin you could ever see in your life. He seemed like he was on drugs. I really didn't know what to do until he yelled, "I am coming in." He started stabbing the door. That's when I finally snapped back and yelled at him to leave or I will kill him myself. I really don't know why I said that.
Why?
And I wish I didn't. He looked at me and ran towards the window and shattered it with his shoulder. My dad, meanwhile, was calling the cops and went to get spare knives from the kitchen while Maya and I were the only ones armed at that point. The guy was already in our house, so I screamed. Both me and Maya charged at him. This was just us teens being reckless, but we managed to drop him. The man got up and held the knife and said, "Don't think about it." I didn't know what to do, but I was pissed, so I hit his hand with the bat as hard as I could. I don't think I hurt him even a bit, but I managed to drop the knife out of his hands. That brought us some time, as he bent down to pick it up. Maya's hands were still shaking, so when she swung the bat, she missed. As the guy was about to pick the knife up again, my dad ran full speed out of the kitchen and rammed into him. With the hit, he dropped his knife again. The creepy guy was winded for a moment, as my dad pinned him as best as he could, but the guy somehow got out. By that time, both Maya and I had come to our senses and swung at the same time. My blow got his back, which I'm sure must have hurt a lot, and Maya, who was still shaking, somehow managed a solid blow to his crotch. The guy doubled back and cursed in pain, and this time my dad wrestled him to the floor with Steve's help and put him in a chokehold. But unfortunately, the guy kicked my dad's stomach, grabbed his knife, and threw it where my friends and I were standing. Most of us got out of the way, but Steve wasn't so lucky as it grazed his leg. It wasn't serious, but it definitely hurt as he yelled out in pain. At this point, the guy was running at us again, but this time, he wasn't as lucky. He had only faced one or two of us at the time, and he escaped because of our pure shock to the situation. I got him first and punched him in the throat. Steve got there next and kicked him in the shin. And finally my dad and Alan wrestled him to the floor and finally subdued him. Steve was understandably pissed and kicking the guy while he was pinned down. The guy kept saying stop, but my dad covered his mouth and he couldn't talk. The cops arrived about 10 minutes later and arrested the guy. At that point, the commotions awoke the neighbors, so the whole neighborhood was outside at that point, wondering what the hell was going on. The guy tried to resist the police, and we can all guess how that ended up working out for him. He got tased, and they put him in the car and drove off. We later learned that the guy was a known criminal and was on the police's radar. He was probably a pedophile as well.
What?
As I said in the beginning of my story, I am 26, and I am still close with those friends. Most of us turned out fine, but Steve had to go to a therapist for a while. He had night terrors because of that knife throw.
Oh, yeah.
But he's okay now. I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't turned on the security cameras.
Yeah.
And I am so thankful I did, because I might not have been able to tell this story now.
Yeah, that's true. What if you didn't check the security guy? He kinda killed you. That's crazy. If he didn't exactly get him, and if he didn't check the security camera, he'd be dead. He'd be dead by now. Man, that video is crazy. So we're gonna watch like 2 more videos because I like watching these videos because there's 2 more videos I like what I want to watch right now because I really want to watch it. So our next one we're going to watch is True Disturbing Horror Story. Story for a minute, okay. I think this was a video he already posted, so let's watch it. True Disturbing Horror Story.
I grew up in a neighborhood that would be considered.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even gonna lie. This place is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So what I'm about to tell you isn't even a surprise. Because we got crackheads everywhere, abandoned houses take up whole streets, and some of our traffic lights don't even work. We barely have police and don't have any more ambulance.
Yeah.
Anyways, when this happened, I was 13 years old. Now I'm 22.
Okay.
So one day I was walking home from school. There's a street near where I live that my mother has always told me to stay away from.
Wow.
Reason being, there's nothing but abandoned buildings on that street, and no one lives on it except for maybe homeless people and crackheads. So one day I took that way home. I remember thinking how eerie the street was. Literally, no one was on this street except for me, until I made it to the middle of the street. As I'm walking, I kept looking at my phone. Then I looked to my left. Then I looked back at my phone, but then I looked back immediately because I saw a man standing in the doorway of an abandoned apartment building. I stopped immediately and made eye contact with the guy, and I nodded my head at him. But he didn't react. He just stared at me.
Wow.
Then I just took off running.
Yeah, run.
So the next day, I took the same way home, but my friend was with me.
Right.
He was the same age as me, but he looked older.
Oh.
But when we were walking, he said he had to use the bathroom. And he stopped to go pee on the side of a vacant house. And he told me that he'll catch up. So I kept walking, and seriously, out of nowhere, the guy that I saw yesterday in the doorway of that abandoned building hopped out from behind a tall bush. He said, "Hey, what's good? I remember you from yesterday. Can you help me with something real quick?" As he said that, he took a few steps toward where he needed help while motioning me with his hand to come with him. Then he started to walk back. As he's walking back, he's talking to me. And he said, "Don't you respect your elders?" I said, "Come."
Don't.
Then he stopped mid-sentence and said, "Never mind." And he ran away after he came back from behind those bushes. He stopped because my friend was walking back toward me. My friend asked me if I was okay, and I said, yeah. But that wasn't my last time seeing that man. So one night I was sitting in my backyard close to my porch, and I was watching this open field where this house used to be next to my house. I had the back light off, so you wouldn't even notice me if you looked back there. I could see 2 people in the field. I could see them, but they couldn't see me because it was nighttime and my lights were off. I was watching these people until they disappeared in the shadows at the far end of the field. Then I heard weird noises. then what looked like someone being carried. I gasped because the person looked dead. When I made that sound, the guy was walking into the lit part of the field, and the man immediately stopped and looked toward my direction. Again, no one could see me over there. And what I noticed, when they appeared in that light, the man carrying the woman was the same man that tried to get me to go with him.
Wow.
I sat still, held my breath. He couldn't see me, and he stood there for about 30 seconds looking around. Then he kept walking, and I ran into the house.
Can you save him?
I told my mother what I saw, and she said stay out of other people's business.
What?
So not too long after that, a whole area in my neighborhood was surrounded by police, and certain places were taped off. What we found out is that there were 3 women found in the area. One in the field next to my house, one in the garage by my house.
What?
And another one in this dude's apartment.
What?
The apartment and garage were rented by this man named Michael Madison.
Michael Madison.
He's also the same guy that I saw.
What?
Thinking back, when I was walking on that street, I wonder what he wanted with me. I think maybe he wanted to kill me.
I think that's what
Honestly,
it
I
is.
feel lucky that I had my friend with me because I could have been his 4th victim.
Yeah, he protected you.
This man came out to be a serial killer who looked up to another serial killer named Anthony so well.
It's
I'm
real?
just glad he never got me.
What? It's a real person? No way it could be a real person. No way it could be real. That's a real person who did this before? No way it could be a real person with that. Wow. It's a real crime. So that is a real person though. So let's watch our last one. The last one we're going to react to is True Homeless Man Horror Story. Well, we got a lot of homeless people around this area. Not in the complex, but out the area. But it's not that money for us. But I know so last time I gave him some money, and he gave me a cross necklace. He gave it to me, so I don't know where I got. I don't know where it is at now. I should have gave him like some food or something, but let's react to this anyway. Yeah, no.
These are Detroit sports legends Barry Sanders, Darren McCarty, and Kirk Gibson. And this is
a homeless man.
Hi, my name is Mariah,
Alright.
and here is a story about me and my brother. Me and my older brother Anthony, and our dog at the time, Luna, went on a walk one day in the afternoon. Everything was going good until we saw a man. He looked like he was homeless, so we decided to give him some change that we had in our pockets, so my brother said, "Stay here. I'll go give it to him." So I waited with Luna. But the thing that was strange was my dog Luna is the nicest dog in the world, but she was trying to go at this homeless man. Keep in mind, I was training my dog to attack people on command. So I shrugged it off, thinking she was a little off today. So Anthony went and gave him the money. He placed it in his hands, and the old man grabbed his hand and didn't let go. My brother started kicking and hitting him, so I told my dog Luna to attack, and she lunged and bit the man and didn't let go. My brother was able to get free, and I told my dog to come, and she did. We ran as fast as we could home. We told our parents, and they called the cops, but when they got there, he was gone. After a while, we calmed down, and everything was okay. Later that night, I woke up because I heard a bashing sound which woke me up. I looked outside my window, and it was the same man. He was trying to break in.
Wow.
I told my brother, "That's the man that we saw. He is trying to break in." My brother rushed out there holding his bat and swung the bat at the man. But unfortunately, the man had a stronger weapon. He had a gun. I told my brother to get inside because I saw the gun, but when I told him that, it was too late. The man had already shot him in the head. I started to cry and scream at the same time. My parents rushed out and started to cry, and my dad called the police. My brother bled to death, and the man was arrested. I will never forget how he protected me.
I feel sorry for you, girl. Oh, I feel sorry for her. The homeless man shot him. Oh, I feel sorry for this girl. This girl's almost gonna save her. Oh, man. I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for her. That's the reason. I feel sorry for this girl right now. I really feel so sorry for her. But that's crazy. But every time. But sometimes the homeless man is creepy. Here's the tips of homeless man. 1, creepy. 2, he wants money. 3, he comes to places and not trying to stay. And 4, they always be mean. And 5, they just want to do something to you. That's how homeless man, woman people. Sometimes I see him like sitting by the Family Dollar, standing by the one with when it has the lights in the walkway and stuff. Time limits. That's where I always see they'll say, "God will bless you" and stuff like that. It's like homeless, but you're homeless, but there's like somebody put you out of the house and be homeless and trying to find or a shelter to find, or you could go to a home. You could go to and if you're homeless, you could come to the. We don't want to go to the house, but you could go to a place where you could go when you're homeless. You could go to a Covenant house, like kids could go to a Covenant house, or a residence home or something like that. To keep you safe. But I'm going to end it right here. Join the Community Squad. Love ya. Bye bye.